the Financial Survival Network, helping you to survive and thrive in the new economy. To find out where to buy gold and silver reliably at great prices, go get your free Financial Survival Toolkit at financialsurvivalnetwork.com. You'll also get our complimentary newsletter. This is the Financial Survival Network.
1490 WGCH. This is Kerry Lutz, and you're listening to the Financial Survival Network, which is brought to you by Miles Franklin. They've been in business selling gold and silver for over 20 years, and I'm a customer because when you buy, they ship. For more information, find them on the web at milesfranklin.com or give them a call at 800-822-8080 and get a free quote. Kerry Lutz, Financial Survival Network, and it's time for another Triple Lutz Report. It's Thursday, June 28th, and word just came down that Obamacare was upheld by the Supreme Court. And Chief Justice Roberts, a supposed conservative constitutionalist writing for the majority, said that the mandate was simply a tax, meaning that if you don't buy health insurance, the government's not forcing you to buy it. They're just going to tax you instead, not a penalty. And I have to admit, I was surprised by the decision, but I'm certainly not shocked. I've been to court enough times in my life to know that it is always a crapshoot, and you can't count on the court to get anything right. And that's any court. A lot of these judges, there were people that couldn't cut it as lawyers, so they became judges because it's an easier job, mostly 9 to 5. This is what we get. The decision is simply a pro-statist one that only hastens the inevitable demise of the U.S. and the U.S.-led global economic system. And you have to understand, it was never about reducing the deficit or making healthcare more readily accessible. It's always about power, the government's power to force you to do what it thinks is best, whether it's watching your calories by limiting your intake of double-gulp sodas, forcing you to wear seatbelts or a motorcycle helmet, or forcing you to purchase health care. They want control of your life. And to believe at this late stage in the continuing demise of the United States, that 9 black-robed individuals who are products of the system that got you here in the first place, that they were going to rediscover the rule of reason, the Constitution, and that the individual is responsible for his or her own life, well, then you believe in fairy tales. But make sure you understand the importance of this ruling. It's just another affirmation that we no longer have limited government in the United States. The government's power is unlimited, whether it's taking you out as a suspected terrorist, stealing all of your wealth through taxation, regulation, and inflation, or forcing you to die after your economic value to society has been fully depleted. They're in charge, and they're not just going to fade into the woodwork. It's going to take a revolution to eliminate these wannabe totalitarians from completely dominating your life. And we're not talking so much a revolution, armed resistance, although who knows, it could come down to that. We're talking a revolution of ideas, a rediscovery of individual rights, a rediscovery that the individual is responsible for his or her own economic well-being. A rediscovery, or for many people, it's not a rediscovery, it's a discovery that the United States was unique because it stressed individual rights and the individual was sovereign. This decision just further reinforces that you are a vassal, a subject of the state. You are a milk cow. The state can do whatever it wants to further its own purposes with total disregard to any rule of law, the the Constitution or anything else that our founding fathers put into place that worked so well for so long. It's a bit ironic that the court that has rediscovered the Second Amendment and says that you have a right to keep and bear arms, whether you live in Washington, D.C., or Texas, or Florida, or Arizona, or Chicago, is the same court that says you have no right to make a decision whether or not you want health insurance. It's an irony, but it's not surprising, because in their mind, in their view of the world, all rights do not come from our Creator, God, or the universe, or whomever. All rights that you possess are products of the government. And if the government takes the right away, that's the right of the government. And if they decide in their finite wisdom to let you keep that right, that's okay too, as long as the government has put its imprimatur, its approval on whatever right they're debating. As long as the government has approved of you maintaining a right or losing a right, doesn't matter. It's solely a matter of governmental discretion. Totalitarianism, fascism, statism, take your pick. It's all the same. And look, you got to understand that this is a global war. It's been going on since man moved out of caves and started building villages, towns, and cities. And it's going to continue until humanity realizes that statism, government control of your life always fails, always achieves the opposite of the reasons that it's put into place, the stated reasons. Long range, this is going to be great for precious metals because it's going to dramatically increase the deficit, but it will probably speed up the economic collapse as well. But look, you got to have heart. We're going to get through this. The sooner the paradigm crumbles, the sooner we're going to achieve our brightened and markedly optimistic future. So just keep that in mind. This is insignificant. It really makes no difference. It'll cause a little bit of hardship until the collapse inevitably occurs. But in the final analysis, this will be, at best, a footnote in history, in the collapse, the demise of the United States. And hopefully, at that point, we will return to the concept of America. This is Kerry Lutz, been another Triple Lutz Report, signing off.